all of us have a mission. Do you all work in areas where you have that formal mission statement? Who knows their formal mission statement? How many are at least aware there is one? Yeah, a lot of mission statements out there. And I figured out what a mission statement is. You take a mission committee, you take maybe 8 people, you lock them in a room for a year. And they drink a lot of coffee, and they go through a lot of paper, and they argue, and finally they come down, and it's like Moses coming down from the mountain. We have the mission. No, everyone here, you know what you're trying to do. You know because you understand who it is you serve. You know you serve the patients. Every good mission statement always says who you serve. You serve the patient. You know that every mission is about service and it's about success. But I really think we need to add that third part to bring more joy to the process. And if you can't do it as an organization, you can do it individually. I'm going to find ways to bring more joy to the process. So if we all enjoy what we do, and we know that that's an important part of being better at what we do, then what is it that gets in the way of us enjoying what we do? Now, don't point to other people in the room because that's not nice. All the things that get in the way. So we have budget, we have negativity, we have bureaucracy. We have all the things that cause us the stress in our daily jobs. So how many of you people have some stress? Let me see the stressed people. Raise your hand. Look at that. I would say maybe 90% of you just raised your hand and said, I have stress. The other 10% still eating. Everybody here has stress. What is stress? What is that thing? We talk about it all the time. Oh, I've got stress. Have you got stress? I've got more stress than you do. I have a lot of stress. What is stress? I don't know, but I know I've got it. Give me the textbook definition. Dr. Hans Selye, the Canadian researcher who was really the pioneer researcher in the stress response, defined it this way. He said, stress is the body's response to any demand placed upon it. I'm like, wait a minute, that's all the good stuff too. Absolutely. Because there's good stress and there's bad stress. The good stuff we call eustress. E-U-S-T-R-E-S-S. That's what we want. That's the juice of living. That's the challenge that makes us work hard but feel rewarded in what we do. The other kind is distress. That's when we don't have the perception of any control. And when we get to the point of distress, enough of it will lead us to burnout. And you know what burnout is? Burnout is when we have stopped being effective at all. That's when we've kind of given up and all we're doing is just going into the bare bones survival mode. You know what? I heard an amazing article that I read about some behavioral researchers, and they were exploring with some lab animals the stress response and how they respond to different stresses. What they did was they took some rats, they put them in a cage, and they gave them everything they needed to live a pretty comfortable existence. But what the rats didn't know was that the floor of the cage had been electrified. And every once in a while they'd push a button and shock the rats to the floor of the cage. And the rats did exactly what you would think the rats would do. They went, "Ah!" And they ran and they tried to get away from the source of that discomfort. And then as soon as they thought they were safe, they got shocked again. What do you think the rats did? 2 weeks of being shocked, no pattern to it, they can't see where it's coming from. What do you think the rats start to do? Any guesses? Nothing, right. They stopped trying to get away. They just walked around going, "Nyeh, that's just life in the cage." That is just the way it is. And there is nothing you can do about it. They'd say, see the new guy jumping up and down? He'll learn, won't he? Now, don't walk out of here and say, well, the speaker this morning told us we're rats in a cage. How do you like that? Now, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that we have choices because, remember the definition of stress, the body's response to any demand. What's the key word in that definition? Oh, that's good. We've got a healthy group here. It is response. Because how I respond to the things that happen to me. And that's the only thing that is within my control. How I choose to respond. And that's where humor is an important part of us being able to cope. So, all of us have our stress, and it affects every other part. You know, a few years ago, I was working with a group of people. And a lot of times we talk about our professional stress. We talk about our career and life balance. How many have heard that term? You need career and life balance. And it's true, we do need balance. A few years ago, I was working because I work with people not just in healthcare, but across many different disciplines. because I'm talking about humor and stress and all the things that affect all of us, regardless of what we do. So a few years ago, I got a call from Victoria's Secret Catalog. I knew they'd call. And they invited me to come to their headquarters there, where they were going to do some management training. And I had known the fellow who was the HR director there. He says, Dave, we want to do some training for our management people for career and life balance. He says, could you provide that for us? And I said, I know what you're asking for, so yes, but if it's all right with you, I won't use that term. He said, why? I said, well, I don't like it. It implies something that's not true. We say career and life balance. Like we can separate those two experiences. I've got career over here. I've got life over here. Oh, Monday morning, got to stop living, go to work. Now, it may feel that way, but it's not the way it really is, because it's all life. Our challenge is to bring balance to the whole thing, to the things that affect us at home with our families, and to the things that affect us in our job.